Okay. Does anybody want to read, or do you guys want me to read?
You can do it. You do great at it.
Okay, sounds good. All right, number one. Assume for Guatemala that the domestic price of coffee without international trade is higher than the world price of coffee. This suggests that I have D. Other countries have comparative advantage.
That's what I
Guatemala
have
doesn't
too.
have coffee.
I wasn't sure.
Yeah, I wasn't sure, and I put D on that one.
Yeah, I have D.
Okay.
Hunter, can we hear you? I
Yeah,
can't
I was
hear
just
you.
on mute for a second. I have D.
Oh, okay. Okay, cool. So we got D. 2. Suppose the nation of Canada forbids international trade. In Canada, you can obtain a hockey stick by trading 5 baseball bats. In other countries, you can obtain a hockey stick by trading a baseball bat. The facts indicate that I have A.
Me as well.
Yes. A.
Yeah, A. Okay, cool.
So
3.
we say that the first one was D or C. I have
D
D.
as in David. David.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I have.
Okay. And 2A as an apple. 3. Patterns of trade among nations are primarily determined by, I have C, comparative advantage.
That's what I have too.
B as in boy.
Yeah, I got B as well.
Political considerations.
So 3 of us have C and 2 have B.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got B.
So why do we think it's B?
Well, necessarily because not always does comparative advantage come out as the best outcome for countries in some situations.
And also like the government is the one that always is setting up um not necessarily the prices, but they're always setting up the taxes, and that's always going up and down. Or if you import and export certain goods, they're always putting more like trade fees and all that kind of stuff. And
Tariffs.
that's actually
I also thought about the fact that like when countries like they make the final like governmental agencies make the final decision on trade, whereas comparative advantage might give like them an idea of what to do. They still make the final decision.
So
Okay,
in
I
the
still-
textbook, under the world price and comparative advantage section, it says, as we saw in chapter 3, trade among nations is ultimately based on comparative advantage.
Yeah, I was just going to point out the book. That's where I got it.
That's where I got it too.
You guys can
Okay.
go with B, but I'm going to go with C.
Same.
Yeah, I wasn't too sure, and so sometimes I Google stuff, and then there was this website that was also talking about comparative advantage makes the trade-off, and I was reading about that too, so that's why I thought it supported that answer.
Yeah, well, I would go with the textbook.
Yeah. Okay, so 3C. 4. After a country goes from disallowing trade in coffee with other countries to allowing trade in coffee with other countries, I have C. The domestic price of coffee will equal the world price of coffee.
Me too.
Yeah.
I have
me too.
C as well.
Okay. Yay. 5. The before trade domestic price of peaches in the United States is $40 per bushel. The world price of peaches is $52 per bushel. The U.S. is a price taker in the market for peaches. If trade in peaches is allowed, the United States will become an exporter of peaches. B.
That's what I got too.
I got B as well.
B.
B.
Me
Okay.
too. Seems
B
like
is in
we're
B.
on the same page.
Yay.
6. Trade enhances the economic well-being of a nation in the sense that I have C. Trade results in an increase in total surplus.
I have C as well.
On number 6, that's right.
Yes.
Yeah, I have C.
Okay.
C.
7. The figures illustrate the market for tricycles in a country. If this country allows free trades in tricycles, A, consumers will gain and producers will lose.
Yeah,
They
that's what
also-
I got too.
I got A.
Me too.
Okay. Yay. 8. When a country allows trade and becomes an exporter of a good, which of the following is not a consequence? I put C, the losses of domestic consumer.
I
I
put
have C as well.
I wasn't sure about that.
Does anybody get anything? Get C as well?
I got C.
Okay. Okay, so 8C. 9.
Hold on. Well, let's try to give an explanation so Melissa kind of understands.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Nicole's usually the best at that. Nicole.
I wasn't sure, so I don't know.
Okay.
I can't help this time.
I have a trouble putting it into words. Give me 1 second. So
So
When
A is true, like that would happen.
right.
Okay.
So when a country allows trade and becomes an exporter of a good, oh yeah. So the losses of the domestic. See, it's hard to explain because it's like it's just kind of like theory. Like if it was on a graph, it would make a little more sense.
Yeah.
I went by process of elimination and I realized that A, B, and D were true. And that's how I got to C. It was kind of hard for me to understand. And then I was kind of in between C and D. Because I did this Saturday, guys, so I'm kind of like not remembering everything. But I was looking back at the book. Let me see if I can find it.
So like the losses of the domestic consumers could exceed the gains. I also took this. I think last night or the night before.
So if they're exporting a good, then it's just like with the peaches, it costs them less to produce it than the other nations, right?
Yeah.
Correct.
So they would actually not be losing. Well, they would lose some domestic customers, right? Or consumers?
Yeah.
No, they would gain domestic producers because now they would be exporting it.
No, they would be gaining outside people. Right?
No,
Yeah,
they're
which-
allowing trade, but they're becoming an exporter of a good. So they're producing
Yes.
that good to export it.
Right. Because they have a surplus.
Domestic consumer.
So really, the only one that would make sense would be C because they would lose. They wouldn't gain domestic. Well,
Well, but it's saying the losses of domestic consumers of the good exceed the gain of domestic producers, which isn't true because we're looking for what would be not a consequence.
right.
Right. So a consequence of doing it means that they would gain domestic producers.
Right.
I guess that's possible because they'd want to produce more because they're exporting more, right? Okay.
Right.
That makes sense. Okay. Yep. I got it. Yeah.
I'm glad we
Thank
talked
you.
it out. It made more sense now that we did.
Oh gosh.
Hard to
I
like.
know. Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
we have to
Cool.
like wrap our
Okay.
brain around it for a second.
Yeah.
My goodness.
Awesome. Okay. Thanks.
Okay, 9. So we take a look at the figure. With trade, producer surplus is, I have 900.
I had
Yes.
A as well.
I had,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
How did you guys
Yeah.
get that?
Yeah, I wasn't sure how to get it.
So I did 28 or 26 minus 14.
So I went to the book and I like looked at their A plus B plus whatever to figure it out, and that was way easier for me. So I put like on this graph, I did the A, B, C, D and figured it out from there. That was way easier.
Yeah, that's what I did too.
Mm-hmm.
So you take 26 minus 14.
Hold on. Let me.
Well,
I should have wrote it
so
down.
for producer surplus, it says that with trade, so after trade, it is number C. So C is you have to take your price, which is $8 minus your $2, which equals 6. And you have to times that by your quantity, which is 300,
Okay.
and then divide it by 2, which is 900.
So do you divide it by 2 because that's the domestic supply?
No, so
Or-
that's because it's a triangle. So we just
Okay.
figured out what the square was. So you have to divide it by 2 because it's just half that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yep. So I was trying to figure out which numbers that I subtracted by, but yeah, it's 8 minus 2, and then you just multiply that by 300 because that's where the equilibrium is,
hmm
and then you divide that by 2 because it can't be the full square, the full rent table. It only has to be half of it.
Okay.
Okay, cool. Let's see, 10. Without trade, a consumer surplus is, and then I have B, A45.
I'm glad I was on the same page because I thought I put an asterisk by this one because I didn't know if I got it completely right.
And you had B as well?
Yeah, I had B.
Okay. Okay, everybody good with 10?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not sure. I think I did it right on 11, but 11, it's with trade, total surplus. In the Guatemalan coffee, market amounts to, I have C, 1870.
Yeah, that's what I got too.
Me as well.
How did you get that?
Yeah, I got C as well.
I did that same thing I did
The
before,
same
and
thing?
yeah, put my own numbers on there and crossed out theirs so that it matched the book.
Okay. Do you
So
know
like,
what section of the book I was
yeah.
in?
So that is, let's see here. This one is figure 4. So it's like, it's under effects of a tariff. Oh, no, sorry. It was before that. So just before that.
Before that? Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, I guess it's like 2 before that. Sorry. But anyways, it's in that same area. 9-2A. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay, awesome. So 12. Refer to figure 917. When the country moves from free trade to trade and a tariff, consumer surplus, I have B, decreases by 576, and producer surplus increased by 192.
Me as well.
Yes.
That's what I got also.
So I wasn't sure on that one. But I go with B too.
Use the book. I liked all their A plus B plus whatever, and it totally gives you the formula. It's awesome.
So it's just a
Yeah.
triangle formula. That's easy.
It took me forever though to like look back and then look at mine and then like figure it out that way. But yeah, it
Oh,
works.
yeah. I just wrote it down on the paper, on the homework paper, so that I could like easily figure it out.
Okay, awesome. 13. The nation of Acolonia has decided to end its policy of not trading with the rest of the world. When it ends its trade restrictions, it discovers that it is importing rice, exporting steel, and neither importing nor exporting TVs. We can conclude that producer surplus in Acolonia is now, I have A.
I have A.
I have A.
That's what I got
Yeah,
too.
well,
Yay!
there we
Okay, we better get 100% on this one.
I know, right?
I can feel it. It's coming. This week is the week. All right. 14. The debt rate loss created by the tariff is represented by the area. I have B, D plus F.
Yeah.
I have
that's what I got
C.
too.
I have the letter D. I have a question on this one. So you guys have C, right? C as in Charlie,
No, B as in
B.
boy.
B as in boy, D plus F, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
So why is D plus F? I thought it was like B plus D plus E plus F. So the whole triangle in the middle, right before the shortage.
Yeah.
If you look in the book
Uh-huh.
on under 9-2C, effects of a tariff, it shows you exactly where that dead
The spot
weight
is.
loss is.
Not only
Yeah, and it
not only that, but the two equilibrium lines that run up to the tariff. If it's including just the world price of the tariff, it's only going to be B and F is only going to be the rate because it's only going to include B and E because they're inside of that zone. Do you see what I'm saying? Like that
Yeah.
large rectangular zone that kind of looks like a 3-story house. It's got the D and F are going to be on the outside of that zone, so those are the only ones
Uh-huh.
within the.
Right.
right. And E is the government revenue surplus or change.
Change.
That's how much money they make. Well, it's the total amount anyways. And then B is the
The gains from trade, right?
yeah, part of the consumer
Part of it.
surplus.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Thanks. That makes sense. I was just wasn't sure why just the two ends and not the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. The following diagram shows the domestic demand and domestic supply in a market. In addition, assume that the world price in the market is $40 per unit. So 15, suppose the government impose a tariff of $20 per unit. Relative to the free trade outcome, the imposition of the tariff, I have C. It's going to decrease by 600 and increase domestic by 300.
Agreed.
I got D.
Yeah, it was between C and D.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I thought it was so with the imports, it goes from 1800. Well, it goes 1800 minus 600, which is 1200, right? So that's, and then you have to go with the tariffs 1500 minus 900, which is 600. So that equals $600 increase, right? Everyone got that. But then, like, the total equilibrium produced was 1200 in the beginning because it's asking the domestic production, how that changed. And originally it was 1200, right? Or do we just go from the free trade of 1500 minus the 1800? Because isn't it talking about the whole domestic production or just between the tariff and no tariff?
Okay,
See,
now you kind of confused me.
Okay. So
Go ahead,
Can you
Hunter.
pull it up? Why don't you pull it up, Melissa? And on your, can you pull it up on your screen, or do you not have it?
I don't have it up. No.
I was wondering.
Okay. Relative to free trade outcome, the imposition of tariff. Okay. No, you guys are right because I was thinking like before the tariff was even put on there. So yeah, it should be C.
Okay.
Right? Because it would go from 1500 to 1800, and that's 300. Yeah.
Yeah. You
That's
confused
what
me
I-
with the other one, so we'll
Okay.
just.
No, you're right. Sorry. Okay. Yep.
No, you're good.
It's so good to talk it out.
Yeah, totally.
Okay, 16. The amount of revenue collected by the government from the tariff is, I have 200.
200.
Yeah.
200.
Me too.
That's that first.
Yeah.
That one was easy.
Yes.
17. The General Agreement on Tariff and Trade was initiated in response to D. High
I have-
tariffs imposed.
D.
Yeah.
Yeah.
D.
Okay, cool. This like fact base is so much easier than you having to like figure it out.
Yeah.
18. The infant industry argument A is based on the belief that protecting industries when they are young will pay off later.
A.
Yeah, that's what I got
Yep.
too.
A. Okay. This one's gonna be 100%. 19. Which of the following arguments for trade restrictions is often advanced? I have D as in David.
D.
Trade restrictions are
Yes.
sometimes necessary for national security.
Yeah.
That's what I
No,
got too.
that was straight out of the book. That was easy. 20.
Yeah.
Economists view the fact that Florida grows oranges, Texas pumps oil, and California makes wine as a confirmation of the virtues of free trade.
Same.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yay. Half an hour. That was not bad.
That's a new record.
Compared to the first one that, I mean, I bailed, but you guys hung on for like an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Oh.
By the way, I retract my my statement on question 3. It is C, not political.
Yay.
Awesome.
Okay,
I did a
awesome.
little bit of exterior research. I don't do much with the book usually.
So since next week is a test, do we meet? Do we still meet and do stuff? I'm going to go take a look.
I don't know.
Let me take a look really quick.
They usually don't. We usually don't have it.
Oh,
It's just
but
like-
we do.
We do.
We do. And we still have homework. Wait, I don't think we have a test in until lesson 6. Let me take a look.
I
Oh,
think it's
yeah.
a practice test.
This
Yeah,
coming up-
next week. Yeah. Next week
week's
is
the
just
practice test.
preparation.
Application, quiz, extra credit. I don't even see the exam on lesson 6. When is the exam?
I see it on lesson 5. Exam 1 is under due date 3.
Oh, maybe that's what I was missing. Oh, yeah. That's next week then.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, then I guess we'll still meet.
That seems like a lot to have to meet and have an exam too.
Yeah, on my micro, we didn't. Exam week, that was the only thing we did was the exam.
The
And
exam,
study. Yeah.
So the exam says that it's due February 9th. And that's on Saturday, right? Of that week.
Yeah, it's Saturday.
Okay.
Hmm,
Fun, fun.
that's sad.
Bummer.
Okay, I guess we'll see everyone at 8 p.m. next week.
Okay, same time.
Sounds
I'll-
good.
If you guys send text messages, I changed my phone number. I think I told you guys this, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You did, but we're still on the wrong group. Because I was texting and I don't think you got it, Jose. I think we're on the wrong group.
Probably.
Yeah.
So we should
Who
just
is-
delete it and start a new one, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, who's 225?
That's me.
That's Hunter, right?
Yep.
Okay, I'm gonna save your guys' contact because it's so hard to start a new thing. Who's 406?
Me.
Okay, so that's Melissa. And then
We got 100.
oh, you
Yay.
just did it. I knew
That
it.
was
Finally. Who's
awesome.
435? That's you, Nicole,
That's
right?
mine. Yeah.
Okay, Nicole. Cool. Okay, I'll start a new group text.
Okay, thank you.
Awesome.
You guys.
All right. We'll see
Okay.
you guys next week.
Cool. And you're posting the link and all that. Awesome.
Mhm. Yep.
All right. Thanks very much, everybody.
You guys have a good one.
Bye, guys.
Thank you.
See ya.
See you.